Good morning. Thank you for joining the VOLTHA call on July 19th, 2018. And, I am not sharing my screen yet, so hold on 1 minute. I thought I had the agenda up there, and I need to make a few additions to it. So just a reminder that we do record the session, so keep that in mind during any discussion and presentations. And with that, I do want to mention a couple changes to the agenda that I'd like to do for this morning. So we have a demo from CIG that we'd like to do today also. And with the time change, it's late night over there. If I could put them at the beginning of the call, it should be 10 to 15 minutes. I'd like to do that. If that doesn't work, then we could put them after the technology profiles discussion. Is there any concern from the group about having the demo first? Okay, I don't hear any concern. So I think with that, we will do the CIG demo first. And then after that, we do have an additional use case, and this is from Turk Telekom. And so we'll have some discussion on that related to technology profiles. And then after that, into some discussion on the new JIRAs that have come in. And in particular, I wanted to take a look at a couple of the ones related to discussion that took place on the SEBA call. And then we'll go into wrap up for Sprint 4 and then some planning for Sprint 5 if time permits. So with that, let me go ahead and start things off. So Lynn, could you let me know who I should give the presentation rights to for the demo?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to do the demo. We have an ORT expert from Shanghai, Jeff Weng. He's on call right now. He will do the live demo for the ORT.
Yeah.
And Jeff.
Morning.
Jeff,
morning, everyone. Yeah, this is Jeff from CID Shanghai.
Yeah. Can you start right now?
Okay, let me share my screen.
Okay, Julie, could you please transfer the screen to Jeff?
I was trying to see who the talker was showing up as on the screen.
I think at the bottom of the list, so Weng, W-E-N-G.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Am I giving it to the right person?
Yes, correct.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Can you please
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, let me introduce. This picture is the test environment for today, and we have one CIG OOP and two CIG SGS ONUs. And we also have ESA for testing, and we have one PC running VOLTHA as well. So today we will first create two ONUs, and we will running the traffic testing from ESA. And now we can see the VOLTHA. We see VOLTHA, and we can see we're running VOLTHA in Ubuntu PC. Oh, okay, I have started VOLTHA. You can see here. Let me SSH VOLTHA. Okay, first we can see CIG OT and the CIG ONU adapters here. And then we can connect to CIG OT. we will create a channel 2, channel petition, channel care, and a channel coordination. Okay. Now we have two CID use. They have different serial numbers. One is CIDG 12121, and the next one is CIDG 60 and 10. So we create these two use. And we create two ENET. Each OU has one Ethernet port. Yeah, they both have 10 giga Ethernet port. And then we create the T-cons and the Tune ports. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. We can see CIGOT and CIGOUs. They are both active and reachable. They have different serial number. And also we can see the ports. Sorry. Okay, first we can see OT device. Yeah, we can see 24 COM ports.
What's the logical port assigned to the NNI and the UNI right now? I mean, for the logical port ID for the NNI port.
Logical ports. First, we can look at the logical device.
Logical device, right.
Yeah. So we can see the ports. Now we have one NNI port. This is the OT uplink port and the two uni ports.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have two OUs, so we have two uni ports, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then so basically the port number is 1 and the okay.
Yeah, different port number. We also can check that in honors. we have 3 ports, logic ports. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah. We also can see that. Yeah. Okay. Now you can start this traffic. This port is 10G. It connects to the ONU uniport, and this port is 100 giga, and it connects to the OT uplink port.
Mhm.
So yeah, we can see traffic pass up both uplink and down upstream and downstream. We can see the traffic pass well.
So the throughput right now is what?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
the
throughput is
frame,
good.
the line speed. Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions?
So what okay, what's the VOLTA version you're running right now? Is that 1.1
1.4, I think the latest code version.
the 1.4 was cut last week, right? So so basically okay, so you just download
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
We download the latest code. Yeah, this one.
Okay. Good.
Okay, that's all. Thank you very much.
So that's a brief, yeah, that's brief that demo. I think maybe you have anybody have any question? Please feel free to come up with your question.
So I think like 2 weeks ago you said you have the OLT adapter established. So now the ONU adapter you also completed, right?
Yes, it's almost, but we need to migrate, change the ONU adapter to integrate OpenOMSI.
Okay.
This
That would be good.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Because
will commit OU adapter maybe in very soon.
and so I, so I, at this point, are you planning to contribute the OLT adapter first, and then ONU adapter you will contribute until the once you adapt, add in the OpenOMCF framework?
Yes, exactly. This is what we plan.
Okay. I think in since the CIG the FPGA based white box, right? It is also submitted as one of the OCP design. So the software component within the, exactly what software is running on the CIG OOT, I think that part we probably do still need to have further discussion. See see whether so what is the software component right now to run on the CIG box? Is the Open Linux and the Open BMG all the component, or right now the software running to manage the box itself is still CIG's own software?
Right now, yes, we still it's still under development, so we didn't open it, but
Okay.
we can discuss it further. Yeah.
Okay, and then I think the ONF is very interested to see whether the Open OOT, I don't know whether Shad is on the call right now, Open OOT adapter the goal of the OpenOOT adapter is both is hopefully that I mean the goal is to make that adapter available, so any OOT hardware can be part of it can use the same OOT adapter, right? So I think that's something further discussion we should continue to have with ONF Shad. Chip, do you have any Chip, are you online?
Yes, I am.
Do you have any comment regarding to how they implement the OpenOM CI into their ONU framework? I think Lynn and you has been talking pretty frequently, so
yeah.
Yeah, we've been doing some talking, and they've started looking at it, but I'm not sure exactly where their progress is. And I think they're still looking at trying to help out on the software, some of the software download capabilities for OpenOM CI, if that's still correct.
Lynn, you're still working on the software download portion for the OpenOM CI work the Chip is doing, right?
Yeah, yes, we just submit ORT adapter, and we in parallel we are developing developing the software download part in the OpenOM CI in the same team.
Yeah, and I sent out earlier, just a few months, about half an hour ago, I sent out some information just so we can start planning on Sprint 5, so that we can, in Sprint 5, make sure we put our stories, so we know who's tracking on what, and we can break down or improve as needed.
Okay, yeah, I received your email. Thank you, Chief. And Shad said that he will add two more engineers from CIG to the committer of the GitHub.
Right, as a reviewer, yeah. I saw that email also, and then we probably need to update some of the module owner and to include CIG adapter also. That's on the wiki page, so Julie and I will do that. No, I think just a fair warning is, right now the implementation you're using is using xpond config. The xpond config is in the process of being deprecated, which means in 2.0 release, the xpond config will not be there. So just make sure the CIG adapter will continue to evolve using the technology profile we're developing right now.
Yeah, sure. Yes. It's on our roadmap to migrating the adapter to 2.0. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
May I ask? Yeah, I have a question, Julie. This is Mesut. Yeah, do you have any chance to test the CIG OLT with the different ONU device?
Yes, we did. We have tested with a third-party Broadcom based ONU in our lab, but with a little bit OMSI modification in the ONU adapter. So if any ONU vendors is willing to do a interoperability test with CIG ORT, you are welcome.
Okay, thanks.
So on that note, Matt got OpenOM CI working on 3 different flavors of the Broadcom ONU last night. Broadcom 1, Alpha, and Nokia. So that code should be hitting Garrett sometime today.
Okay, that'd be great. Then we can add it to our test plan. But we so it's for us, the hardware of the Broadcom based ONU is not available right now. So Okay, we can do it in the future.
Great. So are there other questions for CIG? All right, I think we'll wrap up this portion. I'll go ahead and take presentation rights back. Hopefully this
Okay.
is always fun for me in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you very much,
Thank
and
you.
appreciate your engineers joining to give the presentation today.
And thank you, Lynn. I think this is probably the work of since we met probably 6 weeks ago. I think it's a very good progress on your side. I definitely would like to have your more engineering involved with the development of the VOLTHA core and for the 2.0. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We will do more. We'll contribute more.
That'd be great.
Yeah, thank you.
And let me. So, Nishak, did you ask to be presenter, or was that just an accident on the session?
That's what is accident, sir.
Okay, just checking. Thanks. It popped up on my screen, so I wanted to check. Our next agenda topic today then is an additional use case for technology profiles, and this is coming from Turk Telekom. So I'd like to hand it over for some discussion and background from the Turk Telekom team, if that works. Samuel or anyone on the Turk Telekom team, if you'd like to add some discussion and description of the use case, that would be great.
Hi everyone, this is Gamze from Netsia.
Hi Gamze.
Hi, I can explain, I think. Turkish Telecom requirement includes one or more single T-count and single jam port mappings. For example, if they want to use 3 different services, then they need to use 3 different T-count and 3 different jam ports. For example, for the first service, they need to use T-count 1 and jam port 1. And for the second service, they need to use T-count 2 and jam port 2. So when we check the current design of technology profile, then I see that all examples are related to one single T-count. So there is a requirement. We want to discuss this.
And this is just for, by the way, this is Jimmy from Turk Telekom. By the way, it's not just for the T-counts as well. It's also about the bandwidth profiles.
Yeah.
Technology profiles, we are it seems to be that for let's say for the downside, we have 3 services. We are just separating these services with QoS. It seems like that. Please just correct me if I'm wrong, but for our case, it should be there should be some shaping on that one as well.
I mean, Turkish Telecom wants to use one T-count, one jam port, one priority bit mapping, one VLAN tag, and one bandwidth profile. And for multiple services, there must be these mappings, such as mappings.
This is Sean. I'm just curious about. So, are you saying the one ONT or one ONU can provide? When you say 2 different services, are you saying?
Let's say we have an IPTV service and VoIP service and HSI service on one ONT. We call them 3 different services.
Okay.
For the terminology. Yeah.
I think for our legacy GPON, we have yeah. So the IPTV is for IPTV multicast is 1 T-count. And I do believe Julie remind me the H248 pod servers, that's a separate T-count also, right? and then we have the HISA services. That's also separate TCON. So I think yes, okay. But for the HISA servers, high-speed internet services, so you only use one GEM port and the one TCON, or you are mapping, because the internet service you could okay, let's say the IP services, you can have different P bits, right? So the priority bits can map. So on the RG upstream, you can have different priority bit. And do you do the priority bit map into the GEM port differently, or it doesn't matter what priority bit is set? It's all mapped into the same GEM port, and then go into one TCON.
So the current structure is like this. For the one GEM port, let's say we have an upstream traffic. We have for one service, let's say we have an HSI service. For that high-speed internet service, we have one GEM port, which maps to one VLAN, and which maps to just one separate TCON, and also a DBA profile, which is actually the bandwidth profile that we are talking about. So for one port, we use separate, like I said, TCON GEM port, and also P bits are assigned on that GEM port. It's like this.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
So on that GEM, but I think I don't know, Sean. Are you Sean Masset?
Yeah.
Do you have your PBIT mapping schema for either Turk Telekom or the DT or AT&T? I think if we see a picture, it will be much easier.
Yeah, I do have a short presentation. I could.
Would you like me to give you a presentation, right, Sean?
Sure. Yeah, I think we're also. Yeah, go ahead. You can.
Okay.
Hand it over to me.
I think Gamta and Jamil, I think that's okay, if that's okay, because I do like to see picture. It's a.
Of course, yeah.
Can you see a screen that says?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I think you guys changed your logo recently. Is that right? The R wasn't like this way before.
Well, this is the latest, greatest slide deck.
Okay.
It may be changing at some point, but so there's a couple of aspects to this. One is this is the open flow aspect, the technology profile aspect, and this is the subscriber record, right? So currently, the model that we have right now is, as I'm showing here, where we have essentially a single service described in the subscriber record. And this subscriber record, and what I'm showing here is, it has an identifier for the UNI interface, and it has the tagging I want to do on the PON for that particular service, right? So what is missing are the match action rules, which are kind of provided by OpenFlow, right? That's associated with this particular service. And there's basically an assumption, an implicit match between OpenFlow and this subscriber record, because there's only ever one service that's on a given UNI, right? So now, and what we're looking to do as we move forward and evolve into use of technology profiles and in 2.0, we want to basically add a technology profile, table ID, and we need to add a upstream profile, bandwidth profile, and downstream bandwidth profile. Again, in this case, it's still a single service per uni and an implicit association for the given match action rules. And just to look at the technology profile, as we kind of described before, it basically has the ability to define, instance control, a number of gem ports, and TCON downstream scheduling TCON upstream scheduling and downstream scheduling and policy scheduling rules against the gem ports themselves, right? So in the current models, we have two examples. One is AT&T's example, which is a single TCON, 4 gems, and a specified scheduling policy for the gems, right? And DT is again single TCON and 8 gems. Now, in the case that what I'm hearing from Turk Telekom is that instead of having just a single service per uni, that there's going to be multiple services, and in this case each service is going to have a single TCON and a single gem port, right? So in that case, I mean, typically technology profiles will account for any kind of operator's definition of a service, right? So I can have a single TCON, single gem, single TCON, 2 gems, 4 gems, 8 gems, etc. And this accommodates what the operators will want to do in terms of a service definition or a transport service on the PON anyway. And then basically we control how that service is used by this, the ONU instance control or the uni instance control. So, and this is, we've seen this before. So I was going to kind of talk to an example of, let's say I have 4 services per uni, right? So in the case of a single TCON and a single gem port, if the technology profile itself is the same for each service, and in theory I can just reuse that same table ID for all the services. Initially we said that if there are multiple services per uni, we're going to basically give them their own unique technology profile ID, right? So in this case, there's 4 services. I use 4 different table IDs, 4 different technology profiles. So each service consists of a single TCON and a single gem port, right? So now the question is, how do I associate 4 services against a single subscriber, right, on a single uni? We looked at what the subscriber record would look like for a single service per uni, like that DT and AT&T would potentially use, right? This subscriber record kind of looks like I'm showing here, right? But now if I need to have more than one service on a given uni, so for a given subscriber, what I think I need to do, and please comment on this, is I really need to be able to list all those 4 services. So in my subscriber record, I need to basically list each service. I also need to distinguish each service from each other, right? In this example, I basically have it's describing what my match rules are for this particular service flow, and what my PON tag rules are, and my any P-bit tagging operations I may need to do, and it lists the technology profile associated with the service and the upstream and downstream bandwidth profile. So I can have, in this case, I would have 4 different definitions of my service on that single interface. And then my OpenFlow rules would then, match each service in terms of what the tag action rules are for the uni. So are there any comments on that? I mean, or questions? I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Actually, it seems like with the existing case, we can actually define 4 different services to one subscriber, right? I can just say uni and give another tag for that one. The ID, I mean, the ID, I can change the ID and just define that service to the same port. Is it? Or I'm mistaken there?
So I mean, currently my understanding anyway is that the port identifies a specific uni, and then the rules within this, the C tag, S tag, tech profile ID, and balance profiles define the what I want to do, how I want to generate my OpenFlow messages for that service on the uni. I mean, I implicitly have a match action rule of priority tag traffic and untagged traffic, and I'm going to promote the P bits. Right. That's and OpenFlow. The OpenFlow rules will reflect that. So I need to have some way to define another service on that uni, right? So, and I either at the uni things, different flows are identified by different Q tags or different P bits, or so there has to be some way to map traffic for the thing coming on the uni to a different service flow on the PON, right?
I think, yeah. One thing, I have very fundamental question here is to Netsia, right? The Turk Telekom is when you say 4 different services, right? Is that let's say the high-speed internet services.
All of the S tags of the 4 different services are different. Let me just rephrase that.
Can you say that again? Sorry, I did. Jamil, can you repeat that?
All of the S tags of the services will be different. I can rephrase like that. All of the different services.
Okay, all the S tag will be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. In this example, I made the C tag different, but yeah. It could easily be the S tag with the same C tag, but so there are 4 separate schedulable TCONs on the uni, right? So I don't see this as a change to technology profiles because each service flow has its own technology profile, and it will have its own TCON and its own jam, right? But how do we represent that in terms of the subscriber record is where I see the change. So I think, from my view anyway, and maybe people have other views, I would see this as a change to the subscriber record.
How do you, maybe this is, how do you map what kind of servers to what flow? Who is doing that?
Well, that would have to be OpenFlow, right? I mean, OpenFlow defines the match action rules on the uni. So OpenFlow needs information to generate the flow rules to match on a certain kind of traffic that appears at the uni, right?
Right.
And there are 4 different types of traffic that appears at the uni because they have to be mapped to different service flows on the PON. Each with their own TCON and their own gem. So OpenFlow has to generate multiple rules, multiple match action rules that associate with a given upstream service flow, a given TCON and jam, right? So in this case, instead of mapping different types of traffic to different gem ports within the same TCON, we're mapping different kinds of traffic to their own unique gem and TCON. Right.
But the mapping, does it mean that the ONU need to do the work, right? The ONU see the.
Well, yeah. The ONU needs to get the OpenFlow rules that represent Service 1, associate that with TCON, with the technology profile for Service 1, and then it generates the OMCI mapping rules, MEs, for that particular service on the UNI, and also the equivalent in the reverse direction on the OLT.
Okay. So let's say that the type of traffic or the traffic characteristic, I guess, which is assuming they know how to map the upstream traffic, right? When I would say they will be RG or integrated to the ONU, right? So when the traffic comes in, there's I look at particular IP address or the particular services or something like that. In the AT&T, we use the P bit, right? So we map into one TCON and one GEM port.
So there has to be a translation at the RG level from whatever L3 rules there are or interface mapping to L2, right? So the RG can translate to specific Q tags on the UNI interface. Each Q tag would associate with a different service flow. It could be P bit, it could be ether type, it could be DSCP bit, but there has to be a rule that maps to a certain service flow.
Okay. Yeah, we might also on the downstream for like an IPTV service, you need to be able to specify that it's multicast GEM. So
it may not be multicast. It may be unicast as well.
Well, yeah.
It may just be a simple.
If it's streaming, then that's no trouble there. So.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I think if that's multicast, and we for I think the usual people have it's everybody that I think the streaming can be if they want to put a streaming over the top video onto different VLAN, then and all coming down to the same the UNI port on on the RG then or the ONT, so that's a different that can be a little bit different too. Okay, so what's the conclusion? So one thing we'd need to detail what Turk Telekom wants is we'd need what the the match action rules are for the UNI interface, right? So that's one thing. And we need to know what how that gets mapped into the different services, video, high-speed internet, ports, whatever, right? So that's one thing we need, and the other thing is I can show the TCON GEM technology profile. I mean that's pretty easy, but because in that case, all from the P-bit mapping, it's going to be all the same, right? So it's all going to be potentially it's going to be all P bits on a given Q tag or a single P bit. It just depends how what the match rules are on the interface and the actions to convert that. I mean the technology profile is really the bit that it's kind of the top half of the ONU. So it's basically all the match action rules occur from OpenFlow. And then the technology profile controls how the resultant packet is mapped into a GEM port and TCON. So that's pretty straightforward. But we just need what the match action rules will be, and we need to agree on what this subscriber service record would look like when there are multiple services on a UNI. Because we need to distinguish each service in terms of what its unique characteristics are in terms of what the match rules are on the UNI. Right.
Yeah. Do we have a particular time frame where this is going to be a requirement from an operator from VOLTHA? Because I'm concerned about right now OpenOMCI is primarily focusing on multiple services over a single TCON. For the 2.0 release.
So Jamel and Kamtat, when do you want to have this implemented?
Actually, it's hard to say something, but for our case, for if we want to go to something like a production or with some field trials, we have to have this immediately, actually.
Okay, but when do you think when's your plan for production introduction?
For what?
When do you think you want to bring the VOLTA into production?
Hopefully as soon as possible, maybe into in the beginning of the next year, maybe it should be. We are hoping that.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with Netsia directly, and then I think that there is still some clarification. We want to know how the matching rule, like Sean, what you're saying, right? The matching rule, how exactly it's been doing, so.
Yeah, we need to agree on the syntax for, how do we describe the match rules for a given service within the subscriber service record.
Mm-hmm.
We probably need to talk with ONF about that, I guess.
Right.
This gets translated to the open flow rules.
Right. And then and so what you have on the screen is that the proposal or it's a current state?
No, this is a proposal, but it's I just did it last night, so it may not be thought through completely at this point.
Okay.
Also, this implementation is related to 732 task, and it is in Gerrit review now, so it has to be changed. And also, it is related to 949. So I need to see some examples OpenFlow match and action rules to implement 949.
Well, I think we need another JIRA for supporting, multiple services per uni. And I think the bigger change is more the ONOS level.
Yes.
And at the the pointy end down at the OMCI ME generation level and the OLT implementation level as well. I mean,
so on the Kamtat, let's see how this can work. Is on the legacy using the twist Python, we can still remain as the uni with one TCON rule. So basically, when the Go core got introduced, we introduced a new proposal. What do you think? So at least what you already been developed, let's stay the same. Don't do much the change on that. And when the second half of the VOLTA 2.0, then we introduce the newer framework, newer subscriber definition with combine that with the Go implementation.
Yeah, Sean, it looks a good idea. I think we can do the simple thing in the Twisted Python with using the Twisted Python library. Then after we change the complete data model, we can use the Golang.
Yeah, I think so. So in that sense, so we can continue using the 7 something and 900 something. Those we'll meet the existing model, and then we can have the deliverable for various trials, and then the BBWF demo, right? And then when we go into the Go, then we implement this one, and then that will also give us some time to have a better discussion regarding to how to implement and the subscriber record.
Maybe last time we did some discussions with a small group which is related directly to the technology profile. Maybe we have to hold meeting directly with Sean and other related people to finalize the architecture.
Yes.
Before
so if
moving
that's okay,
to the Golang, yeah.
Yeah. So Gamta, I think if that's okay, complete your work without the new feature here. I guess
yes.
this is our mistake. We didn't capture your use cases. So but if we can do that and then when 2.0, okay, Julie, I think we have agreement on this, at least on the implementation of this new implementation.
And I wanted to circle back to Chip also, because he was talking about the Open OMCI impact, since it's not how they've been focusing right now. So, Chip, do you have a sense of the amount of development effort this would take on the Open OMCI side? Do we need to have a prioritization of the remaining work for 2.0 for Open OMCI?
Well, if we need to do multicast, then we need, there's multicast capabilities discovery that needs to be performed. But for just multiple TCONs and multiple services, we should be writing our code to be ready for that, in September. Okay. But it's just a matter of, in September, we want to have something that we can say is production ready and that we've hardened some and we can support it in the field. And when you get all these different knobs and then you start multiplying them, that might be a little bit of a burden to. I mean, we could have it, but I don't know if we would want to call it production ready. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. So Jamil and Gamta, the IPTV, is that multicast or streaming?
For the streaming, it's multicast, yeah. But we
multicast?
Also have some cast with the video on demand.
Okay.
Yeah,
just like AT&T has. Okay.
Yeah.
Then and Chip, unfortunately, I think there are other service providers also want multicast capability in addition to Turk Telekom. So
I'm not trying to exclude it. I just want to make sure we know what we had signed up for 2.0, and we never.
2.0 we've been focused. Yeah, 2.0 we've been focused on the single service HISA.
Right.
And so we there'd be some extensions that need to happen.
Right.
To rescope things. Okay.
And that's why we have a backlog.
Yeah. We have a lot.
I remember that.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think Sean, I'll probably take presentation rights back unless there's anything else you wanted to have up on the screen before we move on.
Go ahead.
Okay. And then is this something that it's in a shape or near a shape where you could give, oops, hold on, I need to go on mute for a second, where you could share the slides with the community for review and discussion?
Oh yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay. And if you could make sure that the version that you send to the community does not have a confidential footer on it, that would be appreciated.
Sure.
I know you did that last night.
I think I blew the confidentiality thing already. But yeah, okay. Yeah,
so
I think
if it's something that you can share with the community, then we'll do that.
Yeah, I think that we also need to have a discussion around how do we define services. I mean, so for instance, if I want this subscriber to have a multicast service, I mean, how do I define that? Do I define the multicast VLAN and the PON and the uni VLAN it gets translated to? I mean, we probably need to have some discussions around that as well.
And even multiple multicast GEM ports in case you wholesale.
That's right. Yeah. Well.
Or at least prioritize that.
And so.
Yeah. There's a lot of other multicast things.
Yeah. If you need help getting a separate call set up and coordinated, please let me know so I can I can find some time on the calendar for the bridge. Okay, then I think we'll go on and let me just check with anyone else have comments before we move on. Okay, thank you for that. So Turk Telekom, thank you for providing details for the additional use case, and Sean, thank you for preparing something on rapidly in order to have it for some discussion today. So much appreciated. And then I think the next issue is we have the new JIRAs that have come in since our Tuesday call. And so we start with 1107, OpenOLT needs to report device serial number. And so this one, okay, so we do have it assigned to Shad. I think this would be going in 2.0. Let me go ahead and map that in here. I don't know what sprint it would be going in at this point. Let me see if Shad is joined. Okay, so we'll have to work on that, but he's been scoping items into this sprint as we go. Then 1108 and 1109, Chip, I was wondering if you'd be willing to give some background here. So this is related to some discussion that happened on the SIBA call after the VOLTHA call this earlier in the week. So would it be all right for you to give some recap and discussion here?
Yeah, early on in the SIBA calls, we talked about trying to make sure that they have a common format or maybe a common library that adapters can use to generate PM and also alarms on the Kafka bus, so that one person's loss of signal looks exactly the same regardless of OLT. So we've got some classes that were used in the ADTRAN OLT that are sort of patterned after some of the early work on the PON-SIM, and we're going to move those over to a common directory so that the community can start looking at those, improving on them, and come to a good consensus of what that interface looks like. Because Shad and Mike at the Foundry are starting to work on the OpenOLT and alarms, and we want to make sure we don't do too many different implementations. So,
do you have the format documented in terms of the wire format, if you will, versus the library? That'll be more important as we look at adapters in different languages potentially. That it's not just a support library, utility library they could be used, but documenting kind of the format as well.
Yeah, that'll be a good thing. Maybe we need to do a Discord JIRA and just actually lead me so that we can all sit down and make sure all the operators.
That's under discussion. I mean, yeah, more at the SIBA level than VOLTHA itself, but yes.
Yeah, but I see VOLTHA mainly needs to at least provide as much information that SIBA or NEM can consume. It doesn't have to be in the exact format that they need. It just needs the information there. And, we just need to try to do this work once if we can. So,
yeah. Agreed.
Other comments or questions?
What's the format based on? Is this RFC 7223 type attributes, or?
No, it is basically defined on it's pretty much probably identical to what OpenOLT, the EdgeCore, the ADTRAN are all publishing right now, because it actually came from that base. But like I said, I'm totally open to change the format to anything possible that the community wants. We just want to try to first get the interfaces defined and then work on the actual format on the wire.
But I want to stress that we want to do this with the greater SIBA group as well, right? Yeah. So we don't have to have customized extractors to get it out of Kafka and into whatever element management or netcool or whatever it is you're using. So that the less customization we have to do based on whether it's an ONOS or a VOLTHA or a Trellis or whatnot, probably the better off we are in the long run.
And that's everything I had for that. So,
Other comments? Okay, so Chip, thank you for giving that background. And so we have the 2 stories open for that. And then next one, this is one that you've been doing on the AdTrano&U side. I'm not sure if we need to discuss that one here. I'll take your guidance on that, Chip.
Okay. No, it's just trying to get everything to run as a task instead of owning the CI channel.
And it's going to be done by Spring 4?
Yeah, it should as soon as I get a chance to check it in. So.
Okay.
All right, and then the next one, OpenOLT should support DHCP trap from NNI port. And
we don't have ONF on board today,
no.
I don't think.
Okay, so I expect this would be going in 2.0 also. Okay, close. I think.
Very
View of discussion 8, 4. Here, specific items we need to go to. Okay, I'm not on the staff. I think some of the work. Commit are nearing resolution or community on Can you hear me? And anyone?
Intermittent. We can.
In case anyone okay, so it looks like some people can hear a little bit, not hearing. Sean cannot. Okay. I'll give it a minute here. Saying. Put it as well in chat. In case anyone just for people to take a look, and then we'll try and restart. Okay, it's not again. I heard you. Okay, here we go. We'll see if this.
Don't